with lean you get like speed, like because you're able to deliver the product like flow focused. Previously, like I told you, like regarding like manufacturing of cars, like it used to take like 70 days. Now they are able to do within like 1 or 2 days as well. And nowadays, like many organizations, they just take like just in time. That is like they only make products after they get an order. So that much they have improved their processes and they are able to deliver the products after that. Like instead of long time back, like they used to make so many cars and then try to push to the customer without knowing the demand. Nowadays they only like after the customer orders the product, like then they are able to make products and then deliver it within like 1 or 2 days. Many organizations do that as well. Not all organizations, like some of the organizations are able to do that. And also you are able to delight the customers as the quality of the product improves. And also you are able to improve the process, and also you are able to reduce the variation and defects as well. Okay, are you guys familiar with A3 problem solving? Okay, Christian, have you come across A3?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, yeah, actually this A3 problem solving, it actually comes from Toyota. You all guys know about A4 sheet, right? Just a normal A4 paper. Okay. So this A3 is slightly bigger than that, that's it. There is not much difference in that. So you're able to like fold that in 3 different ways. Like I have shown you guys like 3 different lines. You guys can see 1, 2, yeah. So you're able to fold that paper. Like what we did was like we are comparing with Germany and Belgium. Like we are benchmarking in UK. We identified that like in Germany and Belgium, like if they don't have adequate work, like they can send the staff members home. Whereas in UK we can't do that. Our productivity was like we are only about 6,000 per whole time equivalent. Whereas in Germany and Belgium already they were like 14,000 and 16,000. I was telling about a product like we used to make like blood packs. Yeah. The cost also like we are charging about 166 pound, whereas in Germany and Belgium they were charging about like 120 to 125 pound, and they are able to import to UK. So within UK, like we are not able to sustain. So we did this constant continuous improvements, like we did about like 70 to 80 projects, and within a period of 8 months we became the world's biggest. And people even from Germany, like they came to see us, like what you guys are doing, like what magic you guys are doing with Six Sigma. Okay. So this is a very powerful methodology. Like in Toyota, like they basically use this methodology for all kinds of problem solving. Okay, I'll show you guys like how this is done actually. So initially you have the problem statement. So in the problem statement, like you clearly define like what is the problem you are going to solve, like what is the scope of the problem, what are the benefits, what is the timeline. Yeah, you also tell about like both tangible and intangible benefits as well, and also like why it is important to do this. And also you need to align the problem with the strategic goal of the organization. Whenever you are trying to solve a problem, you say like we are trying to reduce the defects by 5% in our department. So it is aligned with strategic goal, like our organization strategic goal is to reduce the defects by 5%. So the project which you are trying to do is aligned with that. Okay. So we have the project sponsor. he is the key person, like who is responsible for this particular project, and you have the team leader, project manager, and all the people. Usually we have about like 9 to 12 members for each and every project. Okay. So 9 to 12 members, like basically you don't take all of them are managers, like we want stakeholder representation from all the key groups, like you right from the front line to the senior level. So you need to take all the people like who are related with that particular project, like you can even take people from the other departments as well. So after this problem statement, like you mainly focus on 4 major dimensions, that is human dimension, cost, quality, and time. So you have a clearly defined problem, and then you measure like what you are trying to solve. For example, you are trying to reduce the cost by 30%, or are trying to improve the turnaround time by 20%, or you are going to improve the quality. Like everything need to be measured. And also human dimension in the sense like what are the benefits it's going to have to the customers or to your staff members. So you focus on these 4 major dimensions. Okay. And why I say about this methodology is like this is a team based approach, like together everyone achieves more. Like you might be trying to do like individual projects, but to push it and then like try to present it to the board members and also to convince all the other people, like it might be difficult. I have identified like by doing this methodology, like together like you achieve like much greater results and success. Okay. So the next state, like you have to do the planning, like because planning is very important, like you may plan and fail, but you should not fail to plan. And also there is a lot of saying like prior proper planning prevents poor performance. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So many things are there, like so we give lot of importance to planning. That is the reason for this. And also that is the stage like where you can collect the data. Okay, Christian has heard that statement lot of times in planning. Yeah, like many people like they say like plan because planning is a very important thing, like whenever you do like any projects. Yeah, she has heard that statement lot of times. Good. So in the next you do like measure the things, like that is the time, like usually it takes about 2 to 12 weeks for any of the projects. It's based on the project and the people and the team you are in and the culture of your organization. Okay, it usually like takes about 2 to 12 weeks. And then you do a current state process mapping. So that is like, that's why I told you like what is the scope of the project, like you have a clearly defined problem. You don't take like lot of things to solve. So you focus only on a particular problem to solve, like you are trying to solve many things, like you don't try to solve up anything. So that is why like we have a clearly defined problem and then you focus only on that particular thing. So next we have this 3 to 5 day event. That is actually the rapid improvement we call, like we have planned everything and then like actually it should be agreed by the sponsor. The sponsor should say like I am happy with the project to go ahead. So like you can go ahead with the project because of the benefits you are going to get. Usually like by this time, like if the sponsor is not satisfied, like we even scrap the project because the time and effort we are going to put and the return on investment which you are going to get is like, if it is very minimal, so you don't even go ahead with the project. And basically what we do is like we always calculate the savings, like for example in a week you are going to save like 100,000 pound you always calculate that by like, if in a week, like then we multiply by 52. So in a year, like how much you are going to save. So that is how like we always show the savings. Like when you show the savings in a year, it becomes like much significant, and then it becomes a good value, rather than just saying like you are just going to save like 1 hour of time, all the staff members time in a month. You can say like in a year, like how much of savings it will be. Like you always calculate in terms of cost. Okay. So next, like what we do, the current state process mapping. What in the current state process mapping, what we do is like we have this flip like a post-it notes. I'll show you guys like how it is. Say for example, like you have this post-it notes, like you post them here, like, and then you say like which of the things add value. So if it is red, like it is a non-value added activity, and then green means like it is a value added activity. Yeah. So you do a current state process mapping, like of the particular problem you are trying to solve with all the 9 to 12 members. You usually like take them to a separate room. It will be like 3 to 5 day event. And then you talk with them like this is the problem we are having, and then like you do a current state mapping of like step by step. And then before this current state mapping, like you actually take them to the Gemba. I'll type that in the comment actually in the chat. Gemba is the actual workplace. Do you guys receive my? Okay, I'll write it here. Okay, good. So you actually take them to the actual workplace, and then they see it with their own eyes, like what is the actual problem you are facing. And then you do the current state mapping, like step by step, like step 1, step 2, step 3. And then you also like mark them right away, like these are the non-valid activities. What we call non-valid activities is something like which doesn't add any real value. Say for example, you are moving something from one place to another. There should be like some change. You should not just keep on moving. There should be either like there should be change in the physical structure or form. Just because you are moving from one place to another doesn't add any real value, and it doesn't add any bottom line like for organization, like savings in cost or like productivity or the time spent on that. And then you do like after the current state, like you even mark like all the value added activities and then non-valid activities. And you take up all those non-valid activities, and then you discuss with the team how to eliminate them or like try to reduce them, as we are talking about like the lean. So this is like optimizing the process so it flows forward instead of all over. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Christian says about like it's optimizing. Yeah. Basically you look at the step by step process, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then if you identify like step 2 and step 4 are non-valid activities which are like is taking lot of time or which is outdated. For example, some organization follow the things which was done 20 years back. Still they do the paperwork and get it signed from somebody else. Like nowadays with technology, like you have to do it like what are the things to do it faster, cheaper and efficient. Okay. Yeah. Christian was telling about like flowing forward, like that's what a single piece flow, that is the ideal like you want to reach towards. So you want to identify all the non-validated activities and then try to eliminate them or try to replace them with something else which will be more easier and simpler and less complicated. We want to make it more simple and easier. Like when you complicate things, that's where it becomes difficult.
Or can't you even combine them? Like if there's similar processes, put them at the same step, right? So that optimizes your productivity and the flow through the line.
Okay, yeah, that is also a good practice. Like we'll be seeing some of the case studies as well. Like if you are identifying like 4 or 5 things which are very similar, you can group them together. Yeah, that is also a best way. That is why like we are looking at the non-valid.
If I'm ahead, just tell me.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, because you have already worked on the processes, like you might be knowing all this. Yeah. So this is also like the best ways of, yeah. Yeah,
I just get a little ahead because I'm thinking 3 steps down and I need to slow down and
okay.
stay in step we're at.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you are able to think again, like because you have been worked with GE, like you should be having that GE brand image with you. So and also like will be next step is like after doing the current state mapping, like where you identify all the value added and non-value added activities. Next, like we tell the all the team members, like the usually this 9 to 12 members, we tell them like this is what we are going to do. Like in the ideal state, you tell them like these are the non-valid activities we have identified, and this is the problem we are trying to solve. Like what is the scope of the project? We clearly define everything, and then we even separate them into 3 different teams. This 12 members, 4 in each team. It's based on the project. Like sometimes you might get only 9 people, or like 10 people or 12 people. It's based on your team. It doesn't need to be like exactly 12 members. Because in a team based approach, like together everyone achieves more. If you do it individually, like the acceptance is very low. Like sometimes they might feel like, why is this person trying to push this? Maybe it is just benefit for them. When you try to work with a team, like they take up responsibility and accountability. And also there is like good buy-in from other team members as well. And also they feel like embarrassing, like what they did during the 3 to 5 days. So they take that as a responsibility to make sure that project is implemented, even though they are not getting a good buy-in in the project at the beginning. Yeah, that's how we are able to make a lot of changes and become the best organization. Like this is the exact methodology we followed. Like even though I also use like other like DMAC methodology and things like that, but to implement them and then get a good buy-in from all of them, like this is the best methodology. Like I also try to mingle my ideas like other projects with this methodology. And then in the ideal state, like we usually give like charts, like a bigger charts to each and every team. Sometimes they even draw pictures, like pictures speak more than words. They say like this is the ideal state we want in our organization to be. And after like 2 to 3 hours, like they come back and then present their ideas to all the team members. So usually you have about like 3 teams. So all the 3 teams have presented their ideas and suggestions to each and every one of them. So everybody knows like what is the ideas each team had come up with. Okay. So next we do the gap analysis. In the gap analysis, we identify all the non-value-added activities which I told you guys in the current state. So you do like non-value-added activities 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of just jumping to the solution, you do a root cause analysis. So why this problem, or like why this non-value-added activity actually is existing. So you identify the root cause of the problem and make sure that problem doesn't happen again. That is why we do this gap analysis here. And then we do the beauty contest. And this beauty contest is based on the ideas from the 3 different teams. And then we score them based on cost, ease of implementation, time it takes, what is the risk, what are the benefits in quality. So we consider all those factors and then like we give a scoring. Usually the team which gets the highest score, we try to implement that. Like sometimes you get an hybrid, because some other team people might say like we like little bit of your ideas, so we want to combine that idea and then form another solution. Sometimes you get hybrid 1, hybrid 2, even hybrid 3. So usually like I have seen like hybrid usually wins, because it's a team, like everybody agrees with that hybrid solution. And also the scoring as well, like whichever gets the highest score. Sometimes people might say like they want to have like a very costly solution. So in that case, like the cost, like it might go down, like you might put that in the car park. We say like it will be a car park, like it will be like we will revisit that later, or sometimes it might be a separate project by itself. So after this beauty contest, usually have this action plan. So in the action plan, like we have each and every individual actions. Say for example, you get about 30 to 40 actions, usually by the end of the event. And then you assign a responsible for person for each and every activity, and then the time to complete those activities. Say for example, like you have activity 1, activity 2, 3, like you have the responsible person. And then you have the time. When they are going to complete that. Okay. So after that, like the one which takes the longest time, that will be the time like which you take, like you can plan after that only. Like say for example, you need to procure some items out of this 30 to 40 actions. Sometimes you might be knowing like this will take long time, like it needs lot of support from all the other team members as well. So it need to be agreed with the team members. Like usually we agree the plans based on all these 12 members. Like sometimes if you give an action plan to somebody else who is not in this event as well, like sometimes it becomes a problem, because they say like I was not even involved in the event, like I don't know what you guys thought or why you guys came up with such an idea. So usually it's best idea to keep this action plan within the team, like 9 to 12 members. So you should be knowing very well like who is good at what. Like that's why like you can even use like SWOT analysis of your team members as well. What is their strengths, weakness, and things like that. So after this like action plan, like you prepare the go live date. So that is the go live date, is the time like where you want to go live. Say for example, you say like you want to go live by January 25th. That is the time like you want to go live with a new change. And then we do the briefing. Like briefing in the sense like we invite all the other team members, like after this event is finished, like we invite like all the key stakeholders, even the directors, CEOs, CFOs. Yeah. So even the head of departments, even like other staff members, like if they are available like during the last day of the event, like you invite them and then show them like what you have done, like what is the problem, what are the factors like human dimension, cost, quality or time which you have taken, how you guys did the current state mapping, ideal state, how you guys did the gap analysis, and then how you did the beauty contest, and what are the action plans, and when you are going to go live. So you explain during the briefing stage to all the other team members who are not even involved in the project as well. So everybody knows like what you guys are going to do. And also you can even place like a feedback chart, or like you can even send emails to people, like people who are not involved in the event, they can give their suggestions and ideas. Usually like every week at least once, like you guys need to meet up with each other to discuss regarding this problem. And usually like we set that up in our calendar, like in our Outlook, so it is very easier to manage in that way. So every team members are communicated and then they all meet up at that time. So discuss regarding this new solution you are going to go live. And then during this go live date, we all before that, like 1 week itself, like we are make sure like all the activities are completed and all the action plans are completed, and also it needs to be worked as a team, because some of them might not be good in some of the activities, whether the items are not procured and things like that. So you have to make sure like before the go live date, like everything is done. And also after this go live date, like we make sure like we follow this 30-day, 60-day and then 90-day monitoring. So for each of the 70 to 80 projects we did, like we used to monitor them like after every 30 days